Welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast, strategies that help entrepreneurs build reputable and profitable brands. Here's your host, Henry Kaminsky Jr.
I want to share with you some of my thoughts and some of the things that I'm doing to really help my business through this COVID-19 crisis. So one of the things I did immediately was take a look at my current situation with my business. Am I in opportunity mode or am I in survival mode? Good news is I'm in opportunity mode. You know, everybody used to laugh when, we used to talk about the rainy day fund. But over the past 18 months, I've been very, very aggressive and disciplined with living off of 70% of my earnings and investing that other 30% into different things like marketing, 10%, stock market, 10%, and the rainy day fund, 10%. And that has done great. One of the things I talked about yesterday on one of my Instagram live streams was cutting costs, not investments. Okay. So what I did on Saturday evening was I made a list of my nice to haves and I made a list of my must haves and I wrote them down. So on my nice to haves, I had all the back end SEO work that constantly gets done on my website. I had YouTube optimization. So my admin team goes back into my YouTube channel and optimizes all the past videos to help get them ranked and help get them more views. Those are all nice to haves. I cut all of that because now is not the time to be spending a lot of time, money, and energy on that specific stuff. Now, I looked at my must-haves and I said, my content creation is actually going to go into overdrive. And we need to really course correct and pivot the content that's going out. So all of my YouTube content is going to continue to go. All of the influencer marketing campaigns that I am doing are going to continue to go. I'm going to do another month of Facebook advertising because of the rates being as low as they are and just getting in front of a larger audience. We were going to do that anyway, but I'm going to ramp that stuff up. Okay. So make that list. Nice to haves, must haves, and get really clear. And I was very specific with my team as to why this is going down. And we were cool with it. The other thing that I made a pact from the beginning was to not shut down sales and marketing. That is not something that I would recommend anybody to do. If nobody knows who you are and you go into hiding, you are missing a major, major opportunity now, right? Because people are looking for you and looking to you during times like this. Now is not the time to hide. So constantly putting out my marketing is a must. Okay. The other thing that I'm doing, I am going out to my community on Instagram, which I have the biggest following. I'm going out to Facebook. I'm going out to my email list that has over 8,000 people on it. And I'm asking them, where are you challenged right now? Where are your pains, both professionally and personally? And trying to get in a read on what that is so that I can help these folks. If you don't ask, you're not going to know. And you could be putting out content that's not relevant right now. And that's only going to get you tuned out. So that's another thing that I'm doing is really asking where my customers are right now and coming up with offers and ways to help them with specifics right now, real time. Okay. I can't say this enough, but being in front of your audience right now is critical. So I'm telling all of my Brand Accelerator clients, now's the time to get out there and do what needs to get done. So if you only did one live stream a week, maybe ramp that up to 2 or 3. If you only have 1 office hours per week, maybe you ramp that up to 2 or 3. But creating that dialogue with your customers, your audience right now is crucial. One of the things that I would recommend you do is take a look at what success looks like over the next 30 days and write down your wish list. Okay? Write it down. What does home runs look like for you for the next 30 days? All right? The other thing that I did on Saturday with my wife once my little guy was down and sleeping was I said to her, what does the worst case scenario look like? Like, let's just get it out on the table now. Let's not run from this. Let's not try to bury it in the sand or swipe it under the rug. Like, what does the worst case scenario look like? So we identified that. You know, maybe I don't get any business for a year, right? Which highly doubt, but maybe let's just call it that, right? What would we have to cut back on as a household, right? What would I have to give up potentially, right? What would we have to do to stimulate some revenues for the business or keep the expenses down at a minimum, whatever the case may be? And what I realized during that time, as we were going through those worst case scenarios, was it a little uncomfortable? Sure. But you know what's funny? I did not worry one bit. I was not scared one bit. My gut could be off, but my gut tells me that this is all temporary. And if we listen to authorities and we do what we're told, this can't last forever, guys. We're going to get through this like everything else, and we're going to get on with our business. So, worst case scenario, I'm not too concerned about it, but I'm not going to hide from it. Because here's the thing. I think that's what's creating a lot of fear and anxiety is people do not want to talk about the worst case scenario right now. They don't want to put that into the universe, whatever you want to call it. No, hit it head on. Hit it head on. Right? What's the worst case scenario? I got to sell back a watch or two. What's the worst case scenario? I can't buy the truck I wanted this year. What's the worst case scenario? Well, we have to cut back on eating out or take out. What's the worst case scenario? We have to cut back on a trip that we were pumped to do this year. It's all stuff anyway. I had a phenomenal time this Saturday with my family. We over the fall, I put together a cool little area in my backyard because we live on a lake, and we put a little fire pit and stuff. And Saturday was a beautiful day, and I just spent the day with my 2 cousins, my wife and Dante, and we went out there and we had snacks and I made a bonfire and we had some wine. And it was a beautiful day. And I said, honestly, guys, this is all I need. So worst case scenario was not that bad. And if you look at the big picture, guys, look at this big picture. This is literally, this tough time is a blip on our radar when you look at big picture. So let's zoom out. Let's go 30,000 feet and look down and look how much of this is going to take up of our lives in the big picture. It's like this big. So just remember that. Okay. All the tough times I've been through in my life. Listen, I almost lost the business twice when the financial situation, like when the world was beautiful and nothing was going on. And that was more difficult for me to get through than this here, right? So think back at the hard times that you've been through in the past and just say to yourself, man, if I got through that, I could get through this shit. This is nothing compared to what I went through in the past. So just some mindset there, okay? As far as consuming news, all right, this is something so I haven't watched the news in a really long time, but I thought because of what's going on, it's probably a good idea that I watch the news just to keep abreast of what's what's current and get the best information that I can. However, you can't watch too much of it because it puts you right in a goddamn, depression, for Christ's sake. So what I've done is I watch the news 30, 40 minutes a day. I stick to one channel, CNN, and I just get what I can in 40 minutes and I turn it off. Okay? Because I can't let all of that, you read some of these comments and oh my God, this is complete devastation. You hear all of these things and you're like, man, on. Like, I got to pray for that person. And it may be terrible. It may be terrible for that person. My heart goes out to them. It really does. But mindset is key here, guys, to get through this stuff. Mindset is key. So garbage in, garbage out. So don't put your head in the sand, but consume your news 40, 50 minutes a day and get on with it. And focus on the things you can control. Okay? Focus on the things you can control. The other thing was discipline and alignment. We have to continue to stay disciplined here. So my wife and I have been working from home for the past 13 years. So this is nothing new to us. Only thing different is little guy's home, but now we have a sitter that comes and to take care of us, to take care of him while my wife and I are working. And we stay disciplined. Like, I cut for lunch. I have little breaks along the day. Like, I treat this, I've always treated working from home like if I was working at an office. And that has helped me tremendously. I work in 90-minute sprints at the maximum, right? Sometimes I do 30-minute sprints where everything gets turned off, 30 minutes, horse blinders on, go, right? And I have a little timer. Once the 30 minutes up, I take a break. But sometimes I'm on client calls and we have to go over, but 90 minutes is like the maximum. After 90 minutes, I take a break, get up, walk around, grab a snack, grab some water, take the dog out for a walk, whatever you got to do just to like break it up. But that discipline is so healthy for you and your efficiency and your productivity. Okay. Now, when it comes to teams, I have an 8-man team. They are on 4 different continents and 4 different time zones. Nothing has changed as far as when we meet. So we meet every Monday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. We all come in on a Zoom meeting and we plan out the week and we look at what happened last week. We make course corrections. We come up with ideas and everybody knows their responsibility. And I am super, super transparent with them. We're stable. We're solid. If there's anything that needs attention, we will address it immediately. Anything you need help with, I'm here. Get me on Slack. You know how to get me. Staying super transparent with them is key. It builds great leadership. It builds great loyalty. And it provides comfort. And that's what your team members want right now. They want you to step up and lead, and they want to feel confident under your leadership. So that's what we got to pay attention to, guys. I think of 3 or 4 things that each team member is responsible for and needs to be doing to move the business forward. So my one designer, he's in charge of Instagram carousels and that sort of marketing content. My other designer is taking care of all the funnel designs and website designs, right? My project manager makes sure that everybody has what they need. The website's getting updated with new podcasts. The website's getting updated with new blog posts. The YouTube channel is solid. Everybody knows what they need to be doing. And if there's any questions, bring them to me. Let's get them cleaned up. Let's get it cleared up and let's move. All right. The next thing that I want to talk about is needs versus wants analysis. Needs versus wants analysis. So what does the business need right now? It definitely needs distribution. It definitely needs exposure. So we are going to go all in on that stuff, right? People are coming on my podcast. I'm coming on other people's podcasts. I'm trying to create as much value for other people as I can. And what's happening in return is people are offering that in return. For example, I had Brian Fanzo on the show last Friday. Huge following on social media. Once this podcast goes live, he's going to share the crap out of that episode. I'm going to actually do some videos that feature him so he can share out, because he said some really awesome stuff on that show, right? I'm going to create some videos. I'm going to give it to him. And distribution, marketing again. Those are needs. We need those, right? A couple other things here. Yes. This one here, I would say, is the most critical and the most important. I talked about it before, but understanding who your customers are right now is probably the most important your business and brand can do at this current moment. And I'm just taking notes. Gary Vaynerchuk sent out an email last night saying he's going live today at 9 a.m. Eastern just to take questions. And I think he's been going for the past, it's 10:30 now. He's been going for the last hour and a half, unless he's concluded that. He is dialed in. That's what we're doing here. Okay? That's what we're doing here. So really understand it, because your clients are not who they were 3 weeks ago. I can promise you that. So understanding them, both professionally and personally right now, is one of the best things you could do. So get creative with how you reach out to them. I mentioned before, email, DM, text message, live streams like this. Gotta make that connection. Okay. When it comes to leadership, we have to stay 1,000% transparent. Your clients are looking to be led, and your team is looking to be led. So you got to be 1,000% with them. Okay. So one of the things that I'm crafting is the top 30 priorities over the next 30 days. So I'm pulling out my Google Doc, and what are my top 30 priorities in the next 30 days? Get super, super, super clear with that. And then horse blinders on and go. Right? And feel free, if you have a team, to get them involved. Ask them what those priorities may look like in their eyes through their perspective. Don't think like you know it all, because you don't. And that's why your team is there for you, right? To give you that outside perspective. The last thing about leadership, I could talk about leadership forever, but just keep this tight, right? We need to be extremely decisive at this point, right? We can't be dilly-dallying. We can't be dragging our feet, because what was an opportunity yesterday may not be an opportunity today. So becoming extremely decisive during these times will build confidence in yourself, in your clients, and in your team. So be very, very decisive at this point, right? This is where we're going, and we're going. That's it. Okay. Now, as far as costs go, I talked about this earlier as well, but worst case scenario, maybe not worst case scenario, but let's just imagine that you have to run your business off of 50% less revenue than normal. What does your business look like at that point? What decisions would you make? What pivots would you make? What would you spend your money on? What would you not spend your money on? Don't ignore that question. All right. What are your top 10 costs? What are your top 10 costs? Right. There was a couple subscriptions that I had that I thought, these are nice to haves. I'm going to cancel them. And they were small, 15, 20, 40, like my Audible. I got so many Audible books I could friggin' read for the next I could listen to these books for the next I got 3.5 years worth of audiobooks. Do I need another audiobook right now? So Audible paused for the time being, $15 a month. Those freaking subscriptions add up. $15 here, $20 there. I had 2 machines with the Adobe Suite on it, right? I had Photoshop on my Surface. I have Photoshop on this machine behind me. I canceled those subscriptions. Those were like $30 a pop. So when I added it up, I was like almost $240 in subscriptions that I saved. So take a look at your subscriptions. What can you cut back on if you don't really need it right now? So here's the big question. Is now the time to start growing your business? Is now the time to begin to build your funnels out and to grow your brand and to get out there and ramp things up? Well, here are my questions for you. Is your business stable? Are you in opportunity mode or are you in survival mode? Ask yourself that question. Answer it honestly. The next question is, what makes a time right? What makes a time right to build and grow your brand? The next question, what better investments can we make besides our business to generate revenue? I'll ask it again. What better investments can we make besides our business to generate revenue? Answer that question. Okay. The other question is, what do you think people are looking for in brands right now? What do you think they're looking for? Take some time to think that one through. All right. Another question. Do you have the time to wait and put off? I mentioned this in an email yesterday. When you are building and growing your brand the right way, because there is a wrong way, you need momentum. You need lead time. You need lead time. On average, when we do a brand development project, from strategy to diagnosis and due diligence to all the execution, from logo design to social media identity to website design to funnel design to launch, video editing, all these things, ad design, all of those things, you're looking at a 2 to 3 month time frame. If you put this on pause for 2 to 3 months, let's do the math. April, May, June. Now we're into June, right? Now it's going to take another 2 to 3 months. June, July, August. Now you're at the end of the year. Your whole year is shot because now you're out 6 months, not 3. So do you have the time? Momentum needs time to build. So you gotta take lead time into consideration, right? Again, this may be a huge opportunity for you now to go all in. Because if we're responsible with our tone of our brand and we don't come across like predatory or opportunistic during these times, we can really shine and we can make a major, major impact on our audience and on our customers. So just a thought. So once you get these questions out of the way, the next question is, so what do we do next? What do we do next? And again, like I mentioned before, we have to be decisive here. Just to recap here, when it comes to understanding your customers and your audience right now, what problems are they going through right now, professionally and personally? And are those problems still relevant today? Like today, March 23rd, 2020. All right. So a couple more mindset things and then I'm out. This is how literally real time I'm getting my business through this. right? Luckily, I have peer groups that I belong to, and that community is like family to me. You know, I have a supportive wife. I have a great father. I have some really strong key players in my life that are helping me get through this. And again, we're pretty solid. I'm not going to lie. Like, I feel really good because, again, I've been an online entrepreneur for the past 13 years. My day-to-day has not really changed much other than to get out there and do more live streams and help you guys, you know, not take for granted everything I've learned over the past 13 years online and share that with you guys. So what are 3 things you could control today? Write them in your notes on your phone, or pull out a Google Sheet, Google Doc, and do this every day. What are 3 things that I could control today? And then I heard this on a video over the weekend I wanted to share with you. Was this quote hit me like a ton of bricks. It says, action greases the wheel of life. We aren't what we think. We are what we do. So we could think we're the best in the world. We could think all of this stuff in our heads, but that doesn't mean anything. What really defines us, what really makes us who we are, is the actions that we take on a daily basis. So we can sit around and be passengers during this, or we can grab the wheel and become pilots. I don't know about you guys, but if I got my hands on the wheel, there's a better chance of me landing this thing than being a passenger. April is right around the corner. We're taking on 2 new brand accelerator clients. Those that are ready to take their business and brand to the next level are going to capitalize on this opportunity to build and grow and to really step up and help their clients and their audience through their branding and through their service offerings. So if you're interested in that, go to my website, grab an introductory consult call, jump on a call with me. I'll walk you through the process, get you in the right direction, get you the focus, get you the clarity. And then we start to build. So have an amazing, amazing day, guys. And take action, because action greases the wheels of life.
You've been listening to the Brand Doctor Podcast with Henry Kaminsky Jr. To get your appointment with the doctor, visit Brand Audit at www.uniquedesigns.net.